Good evening and welcome back to the Watford Way today for your Watford versus Manchester City pre-match preview. I'm delighted to be joined by Finn today, who once again still needs to get his hair cut because it's very, very long. Finn, can you give us an update on what's happening with your hair before we get going?
Well, I think I'm getting a haircut next uh, next Tuesday. Just looking at my
Next
calendar.
Tuesday. Is that your
Yeah,
Christmas haircut?
it is my Christmas haircut. I was just looking
Yeah.
at my Tom Cleverley calendar because
Oh, really?
massive.
What's that? Is that like a desk calendar?
Yeah, but it's last year, so they've all got your last year's kit on, and
What
like Carlos Sanchez is on it.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I really like Sanchez. Actually, I'm not. In fact, before we start, should we find out what Carlos Sanchez is doing right now? Because I've got no clue whatsoever. Let's do a quick Google search. Um, he's in Colombia. He's playing for a Colombian club called Santa Fe. So yeah, Santa Fe. Carlos Sanchez is playing for them. Finn.
How old is he now? Like 37.
35 is 35.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Andrew is in chat. Quasar's in chat. Dennis the Menace is in chat. We'll be talking about him very, very shortly. Firstly, Finn, talking about the Chelsea game briefly. Obviously, I discussed in my match reaction the incident that happened with the supporter, which was obviously very serious at the time. But me, Finn, and the whole of the Watford fan base are very, very happy to report that the person is now fine, recovering in hospital, and they've been invited back to a future Watford game in hospitality, which is absolutely fantastic. And Finn, quickly talking about the Chelsea game, I know you watched it. Of course, you don't live locally to Watford, so it's quite difficult for you to get a gauge of the atmosphere. But for me, it was so similar to the Manchester United game. The first 10, 15 minutes before the incident happened and the game got stopped, Finn, Watford were the best team on the pitch. It was fantastic to watch.
We were, and I think even after the break in play, we were the best team for the majority of the game, to be honest. I think we deserve to come out with at least a point, if anything, probably more, I'll be honest. Chelsea weren't very good at all. I think that was down to the fact that maybe they just weren't at the races, whether it was the player selection, whether it was I don't know. But I think personally, I think Ranieri got the system bang on. He got the pressing bang on, and Watford made Chelsea look bad. But what it does say about Chelsea is that they are future champions, in my opinion. The way they're able to grind out results against teams like us, where really they shouldn't have had 3 points. They're champions in the making. But like I say, it was a really good performance from Watford and from Dennis the Menace in particular.
Dennis the Menace, yeah, I do love that name. Obviously, Chelsea, Finn, they're champions in the making in terms of the Premier League, but they are the current champions of Europe. They won the Champions League last season under Thomas Tuchel, and they're a fantastic team. And I was quite surprised to see how bad they were. Really, it was just a really poor performance from Chelsea. Fantastic performance from Watford, and obviously that gives the players confidence. It gives the fans confidence going into the Manchester City game. Obviously, Finn, every time we play City, I can't remember in my lifetime Watford getting a positive result against them, especially since Pep Guardiola's come in. How do you see this game kind of panning out? Obviously, we're at home, but as we'll discuss in a few minutes, City did have quite a big injury list, but Kevin De Bruyne's back, John Stones is back, Kyle Walker's back, Jack Grealish is back as well. So yeah, Finn, I'm very concerned. I don't know about you.
I'm very concerned. I was making my match preview for my Instagram account earlier, and I had to look back through all the previous results, and I put the last three on my preview, and it was something stupid like 4-0 City, 8-0 City, 6-0 City. It was stupid, but they are ridiculously good, and I don't even remember us ever scoring a goal against Arsenal. I think actually Delafeu scored one at home a few seasons ago, but other than that, that's the only goal I think I
I think it
remember.
was actually at the Etihad Delafeu
Oh, was
scored.
it?
And I
Was
actually
it?
think Andre Gray also scored a goal against City, but I can't remember if that was home or away.
I don't know.
Did you see Andre Gray's goal for QPR? By the way, it was absolutely incredible.
It was in, it it was a brilliant finish, but like the two flick ups he did, he looked like an 8-year-old doing kick ups for the first time. It was so
To be fair, I do agree. Like that part of, I mean, people are saying it was great control. I'd argue it's poor control that turned into a really good finish.
yeah.
Yeah, let's read a few more comments in chat before we carry on. Daniel says he saw me at the game in the Graham Taylor stand. Well, I never saw you, Daniel, because you never come up to me. So if you see me, don't look at me from afar. Please come over and say hello. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Andrew says he was looking all game for me. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I was in my seat the whole game. just look around the Upper Graham Taylor stand, and I will be there somewhere. This is a good point actually from Andrew, talking about Jeremy Ngakia, Finn. Claudio Ranieri made a substitution in the second half. He took Tom Cleverley off, and he brought Ngakia on. But Jeremy Ngakia played, in an attacking midfield role. Is that something going forward that we're likely to see from Ngakia playing in that position, or do you think tactically Ranieri just did that, just specifically for that game? Because, at the time it was a very, very odd decision to make.
I hope we don't see it going forward because it did absolutely nothing. When I remember when he brought Loser off for Kutska, because I actually thought to myself, there was 3 players that looked absolutely dead on their feet: Dennis, Kiko, and Clevs. So I thought to myself, Kuko on for Cleverly and Ngakia on for Kiko. But he brings on Kuka for Loser and Ngakia for Cleverly. It baffled me, really, because I thought if we carry on pressing how we were the whole game, we got the champions of Europe time wasting against us at little old Vicarage Road.
Yeah, look, literally, Finn. I don't know if you watched it till full time, but about the 90th minute, the Chelsea fans took the ball, and they didn't give it back to the Watford players. We had a corner, obviously Daniel Batman, ran up the pitch, trying to score a last minute goal. And the Chelsea fans, obviously concerned that little old Watford were going to beat them, held on to the ball in the stands, which I found very, very funny. I wasn't aware of this actually, Finn, but Adam has just posted a message in chat. Very, very interesting actually. I can see Finn shaking his head already about this. To be fair, I know he's had a lot of injury issues, but as Adam says here, I'll have to double check this actually after the stream, but it looks like we could be bringing in Phil Jones from Manchester United in the January transfer window. Very briefly, Finn, would you be up for that, or would you avoid it like the plague?
Like you said, very briefly, no, thank you. I just imagine 3 of their centre backs being, how old is it? A 30-year-old Phil Jones, a 34-year-old Craig Cathcart, and William Troost-Ekong. No, thank you.
So that's a no from Finn. From James, I would say, I'll definitely consider it if it's a 6-month loan deal, Finn. If we've got injury issues, Phil Jones has played. When he has played and when he's been fit, he's played at the top level for a lot of his career. Obviously, in recent times, he's been largely out injured. But if it's a 6-month loan deal, we're going to pay half his wages, something like that. I'd definitely consider it. I don't know about you, Finn. I don't know if that's kind of changed your mind, or are you just still fully against it?
I just think there's better options that are free agents, like this guy is saying in the chat. Who is it? Equilio Mangala. He's a free agent now. You got Matteo Mercutio's a free agent now. There's better free agent options. I think we were looking at bringing in Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. So,
really? Wow.
Yeah, on loan. So
was that before this season started? Because I doubt he'd come to us on loan now.
I saw it. I think it was mid-October. I saw it. It was only a little rumor, but I just think it's another example of someone who it's possible that he could. I just think Phil Jones, no, thank you.
No, it's kind of like, I can kind of envisage what would happen now, Finn. He'd turn up, all happy, buzzing for his first game. He goes down with a hamstring injury because he's not played in so long, and then he's out for the rest of the season. And we're back to square one, aren't we? So yeah. I mean, I'd look into it. But as you've said, Finn, there's plenty more centre back options available in the market if Watford choose to spend money in them areas, which we very, very rarely do. Talking about Watford and some more injury news, Finn. Unfortunately, there is another injured player to add to our very, very long list of injuries. That being Adam Messina, who was injured against Chelsea. Looks like it's going to be a long-term injury, Finn. Definitely out until the new year. He's going to have another MRI scan on Thursday. In fact, today, as we're recording this, that would have happened. Judging by what Ranieri said, he said he'll be out for a very, very long time. And Adam Messina, of course, plays for Morocco. Would have been going to African Cup of Nations with Imran Louza. Obviously, they're international teammates, but it looks highly unlikely that he'll be going to AFCON as well. So another injury for Watford, for Adam Messina. Finn, your reaction to that?
Oh dear, that's my reaction. When I saw him go down holding the top of his thigh after making a cross, I was like, this isn't good. That he's pulled something there. And like someone's just said in the comments, Danny Rose versus Kyle Walker. Oh no, that's not going to be fun, is it? Oh, and it takes away the option to play 5 at the back against City, because what other fit defenders have we got? Kabasele, you don't want to rush back because we'll just get injured again. And that's literally, other than playing Ngakia or Femenia at centre back, it's not looking good for that.
Is that something you would have considered playing 5 at the back? Because I don't think I would have. I would have kept with the system that we've got now, and because the system we've got now, we beat Man United with that system, and we gave Chelsea a good game. So I don't see why you would revert to a 5 at the back system, really.
That's true, but again, you look at some of the results in the past, and is it a case of you give them a game or you keep it down? And you know me, I'm all negative all the time. So in my head, it's let's keep this. I can't think of a word.
Respectable.
That's the word I'm looking for. In my head, anyway. But maybe I'm just being too negative again. So I don't know.
Yes, I think you are, Finn. Let's get negative Finn. Hashtag negative Finn in chat, please. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's pretty much the Watford team news, Finn. Just says Adam Messina is being assessed by the Watford medical team for a long-term injury. Then it says there's no other injury concerns for Claudio Ranieri. So in terms of your team, Finn, you've not been on the channel for a week or so now. Ben Foster's been injured as well. Daniel Bachmann now starts in goal for Watford. Is that something you're comfortable with? Daniel Bachmann has openly said he wants to get more game time. That's happening for him now due to this Foster injury. He'll be playing pretty much throughout December unless Foster comes back very, very early. So a good, 6-7 games for Dan Bachmann, Finn. Are you concerned, facing these top level sides, City? We've got Brentford coming up, Burnley. There's a lot of sides we're going to come up against who have a lot of quality in attack. So, in terms of the goalkeeping department, are you concerned, or are you quite comfortable with Dan Bachmann in goal?
See, I wouldn't say concerned is the right word, because Dan Bachmann's clearly a very good keeper and he's a good shot stopper.
Yes,
his distribution.
Austria number 1 as well, Finn.
Yeah. His distribution worries me and his positioning worries me. But again, against the bigger sides, we're probably not going to have as much of the ball, which eliminates the distribution problem. And you're probably not going to have too many runs in behind because we hopefully won't be playing a stupidly high line. So, concerned, no. Would prefer Ben Foster, yes.
Yes, I think I can agree with that sentiment, especially in recent weeks. I think Ben Foster's been fantastic. To be honest, I know we criticise, we sit here and criticise him quite a lot, but I think against Arsenal, against United, against Leicester, was Ben Foster for Leicester? I don't think he was he?
No,
but basically in recent weeks, but Ben Foster had been performing well and making key saves. And I'm sure for Ben, he's gutted he's out injured, but it does give Daniel Batman a good opportunity to kind of stake his place in the team.
Yeah, but like you just mentioned the Leicester game. That's another thing I forgot to say. Bachmann was, in my opinion, I'm not a goalie, but if this was my goalie playing behind me, I'd be so angry at him because some of his positioning, some of his rushing out for Vardy's goal, it baffles me. Why are you coming out?
Which one was that? The one where he lobbed him?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you coming out? It's a tight angle on his left foot. If you just
But
keep
I reckon Foster would have done the same thing because Foster likes to come out as well.
again, possibly, I'm not a goalkeeper, so I don't know what you're told to do as a keeper. But in my opinion, I think his positioning isn't great. I think his distribution's not great. He's a good shot stopper, but like I said, I'd rather have Foster.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty much, I think we've covered the majority of stuff leading up to the match there. Obviously, we'll briefly discuss Manchester City. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, they did have quite a lot of injuries. Unfortunately for Watford, they all seem to have returned for our game, which is fantastic news. Not. So Kyle Walker, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, Laporte, Phil Foden, and Jack Grealish are back for the Watford game. Finn, the only player they're going to be without for Watford is Ferran Torres, which, to be honest, is a miss for them. He scores goals for them, but literally everyone can score goals for Manchester City. I'm sure if Ederson was given a good opportunity, he'd probably score a handful of goals. So, me reading that, Finn, that must be quite concerning because I'm very, very worried now. James is now scared. I'm frightened.
It gets worse and worse as the list goes on. You're like, Gundogan, oh, he's a good player. De Bruyne, oh, he's an even better player.
Yeah.
And then you get Laporte, and it's just, I just can't be bothered with it, to be honest. I just can't be bothered with Man City. Can we just take a 0-0, please? That would be nice.
I'd definitely take a 0-0. Will it be 0-0? I highly doubt it because, Finn, Watford have yet to keep a Premier League clean sheet this season.
Even Derby kept a clean sheet, but at this point in the season, they set the lowest record for points ever. Even Derby had kept a clean sheet.
Oh my God! Don't say that. You've jinxed us.
Even the last time we kept a clean sheet was against Liverpool 2 seasons ago.
Was it?
That is awful. Yeah, that 3-0 game is the last Premier League clean sheet Watford had.
Who was at centre back for that game? I can't even remember.
I think Craig Dawson and Christian Kabasele. I'll have a look now.
Go on, Finn. Have a Google search for us, mate.
I'm having a Google search. Oh, where have you gone? I've made you disappear.
That's all right. I'm still here, Finn. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
There we go. You can hear me. Go on, Finn. Get the starting 11 up for that game. But yeah, I mean, everyone in chat, obviously we did the Leicester watch along here on the Watford Way. And defensively against Leicester, we were really, really poor. William Schuster-Kong especially. I thought Schuster-Kong had a solid game against Chelsea. Still looks very, very shaky at times on the ball. But much improved from Leicester.
Can I just say, William Schuster-Kong getting booked for that challenge on Mason Mount is an absolute travesty. That is one of the best tackles I've seen all season.
That's right, Finn. Can you please elaborate on this? Because I was obviously in the ground. I saw it in real time. And in real time, it looked like a fantastic tackle.
It was.
Obviously, it was. But obviously, I don't have the luxury of slow motion replays. So when they showed a replay of the tackle, did he cleanly win the ball? Did he get any of the man whatsoever?
I think it was more of a case of he won the ball, and then when players going for a tackle, win the ball, and then pull out. It was like that, but there's no way of stopping your momentum going through him. So it's sort of like his shins took out Mount.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was the best thing William Schuster-Kong has done all season. He was punished for it. He was fuming though. You should have seen him going at the ref. He was so angry. It was.
Was it classed as like a dangerous challenge? Is that why he was booked?
No, it must have been, but
Because I'll tell you what, watching it in real time, he literally went in full pelt, to be fair.
Yeah, but there's like, you look at the size of someone like Troost-Ekong, you look at the size of someone like Mason Mount. Any tackle between them two isn't in the favour of Mason Mount, is it? So what are you supposed to do? Just not tackle him?
To be fair, Finn, you play centre back, don't you? Have
Yeah.
you made a tackle like that where you've got the ball, but then you've taken out the man afterwards?
I'll be honest, the last game I played, I got booked for the exact same tackle, which is probably why I was so angry about it.
I bet the refs in your division aren't that great, are they?
Oh no, they were awful. They were awful.
Are they paid refs or are they like volunteers?
They are paid refs, yeah. No
Oh,
linos.
they are paid. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Are they like got proper qualifications?
You wouldn't think it, some of the refs we get, but yeah, they are.
Bit of insight there from Findleonians. Right, Finn, I think we've discussed enough about the game. Obviously, we've come to the end of the preview now. Thank you very much to everyone who was tuned in. Of course, now it's time to make our score predictions. Finn, because he's the guest on today's stream, he can go first. Finn, I want you to give me a realistic prediction and a Finn prediction.
So realistic as in what I think?
Realistic as in we're going to get battered 10-0, and then a more optimistic prediction.
5-0 and 0-0. There you go.
Okay, you know what? I will take
Actually,
that.
no, 5-1.
Doesn't make much difference, does it?
It does. I'll tell you what, when Dennis gets his 13th goal, or 13th? 7th goal of the season, it will make a difference.
Yes. In fact, we've not discussed Emmanuel Dennis. Let's very quickly do that before we end the stream. Dennis the Menace. Let's get up one of his comments here. Fantastic to see him score against Chelsea, Finn. Obviously, it was a slight deflection, but he took the shot on. And if you shoot, you score ultimately. Obviously, we watched the game against Leicester where he dinked the ball over Schmeichel in the heavy snow. He's just absolutely fantastic, isn't he, Finn?
He's such a good footballer. I think there was a tweet. I think it was by who was it? I can't remember who it was. But there was like a reliable source saying officials at Club Brugge have decided that selling Emmanuel Dennis to Watford for just £3 million was a
oh
huge...
my gosh! You know what? I laughed so much when I saw that. That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't swear, can I? I was no poo. That's what I replied. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Finn, surely Watford, surely the biggest issue this January transfer window is going to be holding on to Dennis. I mean, if we was to sell him right now, I'd place 35 million pounds on his head. I think he's performing that well at the highest level. He's got the most goal contributions outside of Mohamed Salah. 25-30 million pounds, half a season in the Premier League. That's kind of the price I'd put on his head at the moment.
Honestly, I think he's just as, if not more important than Ismaila Sarr right now. So I'd say 40. I'd say 40, honestly. In January, it's got to be more as well. Maybe in the summer, maybe 30, 25. But honestly, January 40. I wouldn't get out of bed for anything less than 40.
You wouldn't get out of bed for anything less than 40. Absolutely brilliant there from Finn. Right, on to my score prediction. How do I see the game panning out? I'll give you my realistic prediction. I'll give you my James prediction. So realistically, we should get battered. As I say, whenever we play a top team, Man City's squad, cost them £1 billion or whatever it is with their oil money. So they should be beating Watford quite comfortably, as they do every year. I'm going to go 4-0 to Man City, realistically. And in my heart, I'm going to go 1-0 to Watford.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't see us. No, I'm not going to say it. Stay positive. Woo, go Watford.
Great passion there from you, Finn. That's very, very passionate.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of your score predictions in chat before we go. VJ's gone 2-2 Sissoko and Pedro. That's good to see. If Pedro scores again, I'll be very, very happy for him. Fidan, hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry if I haven't. Has gone with Bernardo Silva double, so 2-0 to Manchester City. And Dennis and Menace has gone realistic prediction: Watford 1, Man City 9, 15% possession for Watford.
Oh no. Let's go with my best player as well.
Daniel's gone 5-0. Adam's gone 2-1 Watford. That's a lot better, Adam. Thank you very much for that comment. Quasar 3-2 Watford. 91st minute with a penalty and Ruben Dias red card. There you go. You know what? Chat is a lot more positive than me and Finn, which is.
Can you imagine the scenes if we get a penalty last minute and Troy Deeney gets subbed on to take it?
Oh, you know what, Finn? It was so good to see Troy back. Actually, I think you would have loved it because the reception he got was fantastic. Are you still very, very emotionally sad that he's left Watford, or have you started to recover things? I know you were a very, very big Troy Deeney fan.
I'm starting to put plasters on. I'm starting to recover. It was weird though, because you think about it, right? The amount of rotation between players we've had from 1920 when we were last in the Premier now, it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like there was Ben Wilmot, Will Hughes, Troy Deeney, Chalobah. All four of them are meant to be future Watford captains, and none of them are at the club anymore. It's mental. Well, that's how football works.
That's how football works, and that's how this stream works, because we have come to the end now of the stream. Gone on a little bit longer than we wanted to, but it's been good to chat to you, Finn. It's been good to chat to everyone in the comments as well. Finn, where can everyone find you on social media?
At just Watford FC Hub on Instagram. If you want to, it would be nice if you went and liked my match preview.
And you can follow Finn on Twitter at FOnans. Is that right, Finn?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm trying to give you some self-promotion here, and you don't even know your own social media handles.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really care. Followers on Twitter, they mean nothing to me.
And of course, you can find The Watford Way on all your social media platforms. You can find all of them in the description down below. And we'll be back on Sunday for a match reaction after the Manchester City thumping or home win. Hopefully it will be a home win for Watford. 5:30 kickoff live on Sky Sports. As I said, we'll be back on Sunday for my match reaction. I'll get that uploaded for you around Sunday afternoon. And Finn, hopefully you'll be rejoining me here next Friday as Watford take on Brentford away from home in London, and we'll be watching that here live on the Watford Way. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. And if you see me at the game, because I know a few of you did spot me at the game but didn't come up to me for whatever reason, please come and say hello. Come on, you